All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders. We talk to founders about their visions for the future markets, and how the world collides. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to Mahdi Nuri, who's a co-founder and CEO of CatDoes. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Yeah, hello, man. Thank you for having me here, and also hello to everyone who's listening and also watching. Yeah, my name is Mahdi, and I'm a co-founder and CEO of CatDoes. Um, and I can also tell you about what Cat does. So yeah, we are a no-code AI mobile app builder, and you can think of like lovable for mobile apps. That's basically what we are doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, keep going. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and we have launched a month ago, and yeah, it's been a exciting time. Like seeing all the users building apps on our platform. So yeah, it's been an exciting time.
So, if I was to sign up for your platform, walk me through how it works. Or if someone was listening, they wanted to, while they were working or something, wanted to try it out. Can you walk us through the UX of how it works?
Yeah. I mean, we have these like different AI agents that all work together to build your app. So the first AI agent that you will see is our requirements agent. And here basically you tell the agent what kind of app you want, like all the features that you need, like how it's going to behave, this kind of things. And then this agent will pass all this like information to our designer agent, and the designer agent basically implements the UI of your app. And then while it's doing so, it also writes like some to-dos for the next agent, which essentially implements the business logic of your app. So all of these agents together will like finally build the app for you. And then we have the release agent, which automatically submits your app to the App Store or to the Google Play. So yeah, this is like the general flow of the platform.
So it's funny because today's Dev Day with OpenAI, and I was listening to some of it, but they have this agent builder, which is cool. I feel like the word agent has been thrown around. Like what does agent mean to you? Like if I'm signing up, is it there's you have different kind of experiences where each agent has a name, and they're like, oh hey, I'm Susan, and I'm gonna help you with your QA. I'm gonna help you with your requirements, or yeah, how does that work? Because I feel like we're kind of in the dawn of agents right now.
Yeah, I think to me, what agent is basically an agentic loop, and tools that are assigned to perhaps the AI model. So, for example, when you're like asking ChatGPT about something, it could go and search on the internet for getting like the latest updates or like more information on the topic that you have asked. Or there's like a loop. It goes to first search about the topic, and then maybe it does another thing, and then finally answers your question, something like that. Like there's this loop happening. Like that's basically what I would say is like an AI agent. And in our case, you can think of like the agent maybe first reads a file to see like what are the contents of the file, and then goes and searches the web to get like some information about the thing that you have asked, and then edits the file. Like there's like a loop happening. There's the tools that are being called, and by tools I mean like these operations, like reading a file, editing a file. These are like all the tools that are assigned to the AI model basically to implement your app. So yeah, that's basically what an agent is. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love that answer. It's very descriptive, and it sounds like you've thought through it. Why did you decide to build this company or this platform? Like why Cat does?
Yeah. I mean, back then, the main reason was a friend of my co-founder wanted to build a mobile app, and then my co-founder told her, hey, there's like Lovable, or like, hey, there's this platform that you could go and use. But the problem was, like, after a week, she came back to us and told us, hey, I went to use this platform, but it was like too difficult for me because she was a non-technical person, and like she didn't know like all the terms or like the technical things that you need to know to build the app. And then we went on Reddit to see like if this is a like a universal problem, right? On like subreddits like no code and like these other subreddits. And then we saw, okay, there are like a lot of a lot of like posts, um, like people sharing their problems building apps on these like platforms. And we said, okay, what if we build a platform that is non-technical friendly, like even my mom could use it, right? And basically that's why we have started working on CatDoes. And we are we are focusing on non-technical users at the moment, and we are also like generating mobile apps. So we are not focused on like web apps or like any other kind of like platforms.
Definitely. You probably have to be very technical to be able to build a platform like this. Like, tell me about your background or your team's background, because if to make it easy for me as a non-technical person, you probably got to put in the hard work, right?
Yeah. I mean, I started coding back in 2014. I was just like 14 years old back then. And then basically I started like learning Java and developing Android apps. It was a hobby of mine. I was like publishing them on a local app store that we have back in Iran because Google Play is like banned. And after like 3 years, I got my first job. I was like working full time. I dropped out of college to work there. And then back in 2021, I decided to move to Germany. And here I worked for like some top EU companies like Delivery Hero and Zalando. And then I decided, okay, let's work on this idea. And then I quit my job to work on it full time. So that's like a like I would say like my coding background and working as a software engineer. And it's kind of like similar to my co-founder. She also started like learning and coding when she was back in Iran, and then she came to Germany to pursue her master in AI in a university in Germany. And then once we decided to work on this idea, she also quit her job and also dropped out of college or like her university to basically go all in on our idea to work on CatDoes. And yeah, I mean it's not like your typical CRUD app. Like it's not just like the database operations. I would say the hard thing about implementing a platform like CatDoes is perhaps the sandbox environment. Like like when you have a project on our platform and the agent should do some like operations on the project, where does the project live? Like where should the agent go and like edit the file? Like these kind of things. I think that's like one of the challenges. And there are like some platforms that their whole business is around this like sandbox environment. Like one of the big players is like E2B. And but since um, I mean we have like a extensive knowledge in like computer networking, we decided to implement it ourselves, like this sandbox environment. And yeah, that's basically the challenge in implementing a platform like CatDoes.
I feel like right now, vibe coding, AI platforms, like it's taken the attention of the world, and there's a lot of folks in Silicon Valley who are like putting out these crazy launch videos, and maybe there's some substance behind it and some not. Some may say we're in the middle of an AI bubble and it might pop, and it's kind of like unclear. Are we going to accelerate forever? Is there going to be a deceleration? How do you just think about the timing we are in AI adoption? And does it matter for your company? Is it going to operate in the same way regardless of what happens? I guess what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to how maybe like history works, or perhaps like how Greeks thought about history, like these like golden ages and then the dark ages, these kind of things. I think there will come like a time that the bubble bursts basically, and how it will shape the market. It is perhaps by being a bit more like conservative, right? Like if an AI platform is currently like giving credits for free, that might not happen anymore. And that basically what that basically means is if you're living like in a third world country, if you're broke, if you don't have like enough money to spend on these like AI products, then you might get behind. Something like that I think could happen. And why I know this, because like people that I know back in my country, they can really like even purchase the $20 a month like cursor subscription, right? Or like a chat GPT subscription, because $20 in like a third world country is a lot of money, right? And that could happen in a first world country as well, like and I think that would be like the minimum effect of this like bubble bursting. um, but for the companies themselves, you can think of, okay, the bottom of the stack, that is like your day-to-day usual user, like the B2C kind of user. Maybe there will be some like reduction on that, but then since these like AI models are getting better like every day, you can think of from the top of the stack, it's the companies that will perhaps replace their developers with these AI tools. So perhaps the revenue shifts from the B2C from more of a B2B type of like revenue generation. I think that's basically what's going to happen. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's right. And for you, so you launched. You said you launched about a month ago. I was checking out, some stats on you, and like it seems like it's exploding. Like it seems like there's like a good amount of adoption, like to your website and whatnot. How are you growing? Like what without giving up your secret sauce? Like what are you doing to get adoption for CatDoes?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, currently we are in the process of raising our pre-seed, and since so far we have been like bootstrapping, we know we have to be like really careful where to spend money and where to not spend money. And we have to spend a lot of like our personal time to do like marketing and like user acquisition. And basically how we are doing it is just going like on a hunt. You go on like social media and then you DM people like directly, and that's how we are doing it. It's not like it's scalable, but we have some like limitations with our capital, and that's how we have decided to do it for now. And it's I mean, obviously it's effective because you're like reaching out to users directly, or basically like your potential users. um, but it's not scalable, and definitely we have to think of like other ways of acquiring users once we have the capital to do some like more scalable things, basically.
Well, as Paul Graham says, do things that don't scale to start. I'm sure you've seen that, and it's like
Yeah.
some people do that. Like I feel like for me, I live and breathe by that. And there's a point with a former company where I just kept doing it even when I didn't have to. And I'm like, wait, you have resources now. Like go spend to get customers, right? But it's all a balance, of course. Um,
Yeah.
what do you? So right now you're in Germany. You said.
Yes, yes, yes. Both me and my co-founder are in Germany. Yeah.
Is there any kind of edge, or it's what's it like building this like company from Germany? Do you feel like it is easier or harder than being in the States? Do you get an edge from being outside of the States? For you, does it not really matter because you sell to anyone on Earth? What's your view on building kind of this global company?
Yeah, I think being in an environment that um, pushes you to excellence or like pushes you to build a great company is definitely a huge deal, I would say. And the minimum thing would be not being in an environment that doesn't allow you to flourish or doesn't allow you to build the thing that you want to do, right? And unfortunately, I think being in Berlin is currently not like the best place for us to be in, because it's not just about the government, it's also the culture of the people that shapes the environment, right? And here, like, I'm not talking about the whole Germany, but especially in Berlin, people are kind of like negative, like on people who are like pursuing to build their own companies, or have like maybe like capitalistic views on the world. They see them as someone negative, or like it's not like a good thing to be a startup founder here in Berlin. So yeah, that's something that we are definitely working on, and how we are doing it is basically we want to move to SF, and it's kind of challenging because of the travel ban, after like the recent travel ban. But these like laws changes like perhaps like once every 6 months or so. So we are hopeful to see like these like travel bans lifted, and yeah, we will find a way to move to SF somehow.
For the folks that are maybe not as attuned to why you'd want to move to SF versus, Chicago or New York or Miami, why SF? Why is that kind of the target in your words?
Yeah, I think being in SF is um, the I think the minimum thing would be the talents that is available in SF. Um, that is like quite important for scaling an AI company. And also it's perhaps about the culture. I mean, I have never been to SF, but from the things that my friends have told me, or like I have seen on social media, it's there's like a culture of um, pushing you to like reach excellence, or like to grow your company. And also apart from the culture and the talent that is available in SF, perhaps the other part is the capital that is available, and that is also a huge part. Both, I mean, that's also a part of the culture as well, because if you want to raise in Europe, then there is also a reflection of the government's culture on the VC side, because then there's also like the all the bureaucracy, or like all the paperwork that is involved. Like I think it's kind of like normal in Europe to perhaps have like 6 meetings with a VC and a month of time to get a check. And from what I've heard from SF, that's like not normal in SF to go through like 6 different meetings and then get an answer. So yeah, I think these are all the things um, that makes SF like a perfect place for building an AI company.
Yeah, I'd agree with all those points. One thing that I think about is, look, I'm in Phoenix, and I think our ecosystem here is very well intentioned and better than it was 50 years ago, but it's a very long way to go. And I kind of wonder. I think SF is the undisputed number one. If you were to kind of go compare, call it Phoenix to Berlin, even though Phoenix is a much physically closer to SF, is it different, or is it just that SF is so unique in that culture of people that SF is just 10,000 miles ahead of any scene, regardless of where they're at? Because in Phoenix, it is also pretty like a lot of the issues that people talk about on with VCs across the pond. Like they, I love a lot of the local VCs. A lot of them are really great. They're friends of mine, but in general, like it's kind of a way of doing business, and SF is one of one. Even New York, from what I've heard, like I've been, but I'm not as involved in the tech scene. But even New York, it's not as fast. It's harder to underwrite these early stage companies versus an SF. They just kind of, it's half vibe, half pattern recognition on seeing how these things unfold, and I think that's pretty special.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree on that. I'm only like seeing what is happening in SF from social media and like from what my friends have told me. But it's like a different place. It's kind of like an alien planet, like it's not like a normal place, I would say. So yeah.
Well, whenever you do go, you'll see when you land and you drive into the city, you just are, I believe it's the 202, could be the 101. It's the 101 or the 202. And all of the billboards are just tech companies. Every single one. Like, every one. You got HubSpot, and you got freaking, OpenAI, and you got Anthropic, and, I don't know, all these different companies. And it's just, we have tech companies in Phoenix that have billboards, like maybe one out of every 5,000 are tech companies. Usually it's like lawyers or real estate people, but that's just natural for the scene, right? It just depends on where each city is.
Yeah. I totally agree on that.
So let's go back to the product a little bit. What obviously there's a point where this probably can't, like this. I doubt. I could be wrong. You can correct me, but I doubt like I can't build Uber on this. I can maybe build the tech, but I still need to. There's APIs. I need to get drivers and background checks and all that stuff. I guess where is the limit to building on CatDoes, or is there really no limit and it's just a human limit?
Yeah, so the thing is, I personally can build Uber on CatDoes, but the platform should allow even someone like my mother to also be able to build an Uber on CatDoes, right? I think that would be the goal. And maybe one bottleneck in this, like achieving this, is the AI models, like them getting better over time, and also how your platform allows these AI agents to operate, right? Um, there are some like perhaps like secret sauces that some of these AI platforms as well as CatDoes use that could differentiate us from some other platforms that don't have this secret sauce. And that's basically perhaps the tools that are assigned to the AI agents as well as the system prompt. Like how much are you able to elevate the AI model from the baseline? And that's currently what is like making the differentiation. Um, but this should get not as important in the future, and the reason is these AI models will get so much better, perhaps 1 year down the line, that it doesn't really matter what you have on your system prompt or what tools have you really assigned to the AI agent, because the AI model itself has like so much like it has so much depth in its knowledge that it will be able to work much better on its own without your secret sauce, essentially. Yeah.
Totally. And I think to kind of round this out, like, how do you kind of think of the future? Maybe over the next 2 to 5 years. That's impossible to predict where the models will be. We can guess, but then whatever happens happens. But what's in your control? Where do you see Cat does going? 2 5 years from now. How do you envision the company?
I think um, the vision that I have for CatDoes is the ultimate mobile app building platform. I mean, we can definitely like expand to web apps and like different platforms, but that's not like my personal passion. Where my personal passion is solely the mobile apps, because that's how I started learning to code, because I wanted to build apps. And by ultimate mobile app building platform, what I mean is you have all the things that is relevant to mobile apps on the platform itself. Like perhaps you have the backend, you can think of like a CatDoes cloud, you have the crash reporting system, and you have the analytics, you have the user management tools. Like all of these things are baked into the platform. And so you like there's no reason for you to go and use like other platforms. You can just build your app from start to finish all on CatDoes. That's for perhaps for like individuals and the B2C side. And for the B2B side, what I imagine for CatDoes is at least if your company is still like hiring developers, those developers are all using CatDoes to build your business's mobile app. And that would be the vision for CatDoes in like 2 or 5 years down the line. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really excited by it because I think you're being very thoughtful. You're not just kind of vibing it, right? You're building a thoughtful platform, thinking of all the parts that are necessary to let someone like me, who's non-technical, to ship one of these. So that's awesome. If I wanted to find out more about the company or try it out, or obviously I know how to find it, but if someone's listening, they want to try this out. Where can they find you? Website, app store. Where can someone get started here with CatDoes?
Yeah. I mean, our website is catdoes.com, and you can just go there and sign up, create an account, and start building your app. We have a free tier. We can use that to basically get to know the platform and see like how it works. And then once you felt like comfortable, or once you saw a value in using our platform, then of course you can upgrade to our pro tier. And yeah, and looking forward to seeing like all the apps that will be created on CatDoes.
100%. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. I really appreciate it. I think this is a very exciting space, and to see your growth and to see you in it is awesome. So if you're listening, you want to build a mobile app, go to catdoes.com. And Maddie, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.